Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys a lot for hanging in there. For those of you who stayed subscribed, even though you played the division or not, you guys have still been here, even in the dry times, even in the times where there are many activities going on in the game. Some of you are super dedicated to the community. You're dedicated to the franchise. You've gone through the thick and thins, and we've come to see that, in the whole gaming scene, there seems to be a huge issue that plagues corporate and development side of things. And usually the consumers can, in many cases, find themselves at the helm of the issues that happen. In the case of a lot of these RPG looter shooters or live service games, we've seen a lot of live service games receive announcements that they're not going to get supported. We've seen some of them crash, burn, or some of them not provide a lot of the expectations that players had, or some of them basically creating a thirst and not being able to, even in a weird way, satisfy that thirst. But the Division is one game that has shown a lot of resilience. If anything, the game won't just go away. I mean, if you even wanted to kind of say, okay, let's just call the game kind of an ordinary game, it still just is an ordinarily resilient game. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people here in the community really do resonate with the game. And then, other things like the game's quite unique. There isn't any other game like it. The way it's been designed, the way it's been made, a lot of players do enjoy those aspects of the game. So this video is pretty much a video that's starting to get, things in line. It's one of those videos that, you make when something is coming down the pipeline. And for those of you who don't know, Ubisoft has an event called Ubisoft Forward, and it's actually scheduled for June 12th to 2021. So it's going to be an online, I think it's going to be an online event. It's an official Ubisoft event. It's on a Saturday. I think it's going to be starting at 12 p.m. And I think it's going to be part of the E3 online thing that's going on. So that's what it's going to be a part of. That's what the package is going to look like. Now, if you actually kind of think about all of this, Ubisoft seems to be in a place where they're gearing up back into putting out games all over the place. The other day, we saw the Far Cry 6 gameplay trailer. That was actually quite interesting. For those of you who like Far Cry, it's nice for you to be able to play your umpteenth Far Cry games, and so I'm sure you're not mad at that. The game does seem like it's going to have a lot of new mechanics and all of the above. And so I think that's actually something that they'll probably be wanting to explain more, or something that they're going to want to perhaps, I would say, whatever it is, they'll want to kind of like, expound more on some of the things that we saw in that particular preview. In regard to the Division, I think, in my opinion, we're more than likely going to be seeing some things gearing up for the Division 2 at this event. They've already said that the Division 2 was going to be receiving some content this year, and the content was being developed by a specific studio. I think it's Ubisoft Bucharest, under the supervision of Massive. I mean, nonetheless, and this is definitely something that the developers, are probably looking forward to, because, with the chatter going on, it was first, rumored or whispered that, Ubisoft wanted to kind of like put this project on the back burner, but it appeared that there was so much of a fan base, there was so much of a resurgence, especially when the Xbox thing kind of kicked into gear. I think there was a time where Xbox Live Gold gave away Division 1 for free. I think that kind of created, an insurgence of players, and I think it helped maybe put some things in perspective, and the developers or whoever was in charge could actually make a case to the top brass saying, yo, it seems like people are actually coming into this game for the first time and taking a look at it. I mean, perhaps there might be a way to continue to keep this community engaged, and I think that's pretty much what happened. I mean, it could have gone a whole different way. Another thing too is Division Heartland. Division Heartland might be getting an announcement. I don't know, what will probably come down the pipeline, but I'm saying most likely this is the time where I believe the developers are at least able to show something. They're at least able to, at least on a bigger stage, present something, and I don't think they're going to miss out on the opportunity to leverage and use E3 for that purpose. And that's why I'm in the mindset that something of that nature is going to be coming down the pipeline. Now, again, it also goes to say, what is the nature of this content? What kind of press, or what kind of crowd, or what kind of, I would say, community engagement are they going to gather from something like this? Well, it's quite simple. The content is going to be free. So those people who already have the Division 2 Warlords of New York, they're going to be able to engage in whatever this Division 2 based content is. And believe it or not, more copies of the Division 2 have, gone out there and reached the hands of new people. I think Ubisoft has created a thirst or created a taste that people didn't really know was actually there. This is something that one of the biggest fast food chains in the United States actually does. They give out a lot of free stuff. Some people may know, some people may not know, but when you actually provide the opportunity for people to actually get in on a product, it's easy for you to create a customer from there. And I'm telling you, some people paid $9 for the Division 2 and can't believe their eyes. We paid $60 for it. We've played and we've gotten our few hundred hours, but the person who paid $9, I can guarantee you that their satisfaction is exponentially greater than a lot of us who started and went through the thick and thin and the growing pains of the game. As it stands right now, a lot of those pains have been resolved. A lot of things that the game had as issues are no longer issues. You can get in on the game if you're playing on. I play on the PlayStation and I play on PC from time to time, and you can get in and you can pretty much just run missions. You can matchmake with people. Mission fidelity, server fidelity is actually pretty good. Not a lot of deltas, and I'm guessing that's because the servers are not as saturated as they used to be. I'm not saying that they've actually fixed the servers or whatever. I'm just saying perhaps lack of saturation allows for smooth sailing overall. And these are some of the really cool things that a lot of players are most likely, experiencing right now. And I can see a lot of them hearing the name The Division when Heartland is finally revealed, and that perking up their ears. So think about the new set of players. Think about the millions of players that picked up cheap copies of the game. Think about the people who actually dropped the game, didn't understand what it was, came back and have been playing the game and said, I can't believe I put this game down because I didn't understand what it was, or because in the past, the game didn't really appeal to me. Now, you may think that this is out of the question. You may think this is far-fetched, that they're probably, maybe, you're not playing the game anymore. Maybe you think that there isn't anyone that's, engaging the game like this. I guarantee you there are. I mean, if you go around and you say, okay, well, what are the highest shade level agents in the game? That is players who have played much more dedicatedly. And then you come back and look at the lower shade levels of level 40 players, you're going to see that there's a huge span and a wide audience, in my opinion, of people who are either playing the game or people who are taking their time through the game, and people who have basically spent so much time that it's hard to even quantify. There is a YouTuber that is in a community that has like 17,000 shade level. Somebody left in the comments the other day saying that there was in their clan, they had some other people in their clan that had 20,000 shade level. I saw on Twitter today somebody had 10,000 shade level, and I think it was on their hardcore agent. This is not just a regular agent. This agent had 10,000 shade level hardcore. So if you think about the amount of time that person has grinded and say, okay, what is the casual player? The casual player should be sitting around 1,000 shade level by now. But nonetheless, you continue to see people who are under the 1,000 shade level mark at least show up 25 to even 40% of the time. Whenever you matchmake or have any interactions, you're going to see this happen a lot. I mean, I could pull up legendary footage over legendary footage and all kinds of activities that I get to do when I log into the game, and at least there's somebody in the group that has a shade level that is lower than 1,000. Perhaps they're coming from another account, just like, or they've played on a different platform, and they're probably trying to leverage a new console or a new next gen console and play the Division on there, and that's probably why their shade levels are low. But it still kind of counts for that audience that's just sneakishly lagging behind and enjoying the content that we have right now. So looking at what's going to be coming the 12th of June, I mean, this is something that hopefully the community is kind of like paying attention to. And I know one thing that we have to acknowledge is expectations need to be kept in check. I mean, when I mean in check, that's a politically way of saying keep your expectations low, because at the end of the day, it's free content. You don't really know what it's going to be like. It might be something that they try to use to blow people out of the water. It might be the precedent that they need to set the stage for selling their games that they're working on, like Avatar and maybe the Star Wars game down the road. And so it may be something that they knock out the park. It may also be something that's just, cheap and, free. And that's also another possibility. But nonetheless, we're still interested in whatever the heck it is, because many of us are still playing the game for the sake of just playing the game, because, as ordinary as the game may seem to some people, to some others, it seems like an extraordinary game. And if it's, and you know, I think that's evident by the fact that people are still playing the game, regardless of how much time they've invested, regardless of how monotonous it could be. They've just come to the point where it's like, if there's no other game like this and this game is still available and nothing else is taking my time, I'm just going to keep playing the game. So we're yet to see what the developers are yet to say about all of this, and you just keep an ear to the ground. And I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think is going to be coming down the pipeline? Do you think it's something exciting? Do you think it's something that is mediocre, or are you just going to, hold your breath for now and just, or not hold your breath and see what the developers are able to bring to the table? Talk to me in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much. Peace out.